When I was a young lad, I had some real issues with understanding what the love of God was all about. I was bound by my own failures and frightened by the reality that that maybe God didn't know I existed. Frightened by the reality that God couldn't use me. And I looked at my life and I had no talents and no gifts, nothing to offer Him, and it seemed like church was just a place for older folks. And one day while I was at school, the brand new voice teacher walked up behind me and could tell that something had happened to my voice over the summer. It had gone from way up here to way down here. And he goes, "You need to join choir." And I go, "No, I don't know how to sing, and I'm not interested in it. I'm going to be a basketball player," because with that change in voice came about 7 inches of height. Well, he talked me into it by talking about all the great potlucks that the choir would have when we'd go around to churches to sing. So, being a young 14-year-old boy, and I wanted to get those potlucks. So I joined choir, started taking voice lessons as part of that agreement, and he taught me a song. And one day he said, as I came into the lesson, he says, "Next week you're going to sing that for chapel for our week of prayer." And I looked at him and I said, I still remember, "I will never sing a solo in front of people. That's not what my gifts are. I'm not interested." And he goes, "No, you have to. You graded on it." And I said, "Then I'll drop voice, I'll drop choir, because I've tried to go up front once before and I almost fainted. And so I knew that I would never even attempt it." And so he said, "Okay, calm down. We won't make you sing." Well, the week of prayer came, and one Tuesday morning I sat down, beginning of the show, and he showed up, sat down next to me, and he nudged me and he said, "Steve, in about 5 seconds they're going to introduce you as the special music." Well, terror like I've never experienced hit my heart, and he saw it in my eyes. And he said, I'm so sorry. And I said, "I can't go up there." And he said, "Well, just come sing by the piano." So I must have been clinging to him in terror, because when my name was mispronounced from the front, no one knew who I was. I was a new student there. He got up to go to the piano, and I went with him. And I stood by the piano as he played the intro 4 times, with me standing there like a deer in headlights. Finally, I looked at him. He said, "Start anywhere." So I took a breath and I started singing, and it was absolutely disgusting. It was terrible. I was there, believe me. It was just terrible. And I wanted to run to the exit sign, but I knew that if I let go of the piano, I'd fall away dead, because I was getting tunnel vision, because the fear was so great. Finally, I took a big breath right before I passed out, more air than I needed, and I came back with this really loud, "Through the storm," and every head in the place went and looked at me. And something changed in my life. That moment, all of a sudden, like a fish who had lived its entire life in the desert, someone placed me in the water. And in singing those songs about Christ, I found a spring coming alive in my heart. And that led to me realizing that there was a place for me, and that God has a destiny for all of us. And dear folks, you need to share these kind of praise reports. You need to share with others so that they can have the same encouragement to know that God has a plan for your life. God really does want to use you in marvelous ways, with gifts and talents that no one possesses but you, within the circle that your life exists. It's taken me 37 years, but I'd like to sing that song for you now. Precious Lord, take my hand. Precious Lord, take my hand, lead me on, help me stand. I am tired, I am weak, I am worn. Through the storm, through the night, lead me on to the light. Take my hand, precious Lord, lead me home. Thomas A. Dorsey, a renowned gospel songwriter, wrote this song after he heard his wife died in childbirth, and then a day later so did that new son die. He found in his heart to write these words, sung the very next day, very next weekend at church. When my way grows drear, precious Lord, linger near. When my life is almost gone, hear my cry, hear my call, hold my hand lest I fall. Take my hand, precious Lord, lead me home. When the darkness appears and the night draws near and the day is past and gone, at the river I stand, guide my feet, hold my hand. Take my hand, precious Lord,